Hello everybody, welcome back to Learning Language. Today we will continue exploring and discovering about the Cyrillic alphabet by studying the Russian language. So what I've done is I've gone through and conjugated some verbs in Russian, but basically what I'm going to do is build vocabulary by reading. Just pull out, 5-10 verbs. We won't be covering that in this video. I'll say the verbs that we've conjugated, but then just trying to then go through and read a story and try to, see which verbs, if any of the verbs that we've referenced show up in our story. Just a light exercise to try to build a vocabulary, but we'll go over the verbs first. Then I will be reading painfully slow in Russian, so if you're a native Russian speaker, this video is not for you. I don't really know who these videos are for, but it's just me practicing reading out loud. But I think they would be useful for anyone that's familiar with the Roman alphabet, learning the Cyrillic alphabet. Because like I said, I read at probably like a 1st to 2nd grade level, so don't expect much there, but just exploring the different sounds. Because it's very easy, I don't say it's very easy, but any other language represented by the Roman alphabet, you kind of exposure to this different sounds. But this one, most of the letters are different. So just exploring any fundamentals of the sound that's interesting to me. Trying to improve my reading phonetics. I'm sure I'll overstress some things like I did last time. I'm sure I'll do that. But again, just calling out anything that's interesting to me. So the verbs that we covered or that I studied, and like I said, you can go watch any vocab building exercise. You can just go watch somewhere else. But we have hotet for wanting, chitat for reading, pistat for writing, pomogat for helping, rabotat for working, moch for being able to or can. Again, another can and able reference there. We have letet, flying. That one that's another one where so the letter E, the symbol E, like that thing, you get a kind of an E sound if it's what I call open, just means there's not a letter in front of it. You kind of get a Y sound in front of it, like yesh, like eating, east, yeast, yayim. But then you have ot bilhat for resting or vacation. Yeah, ot dilhat. Edit, idti for going or walking. Hodit for going regularly, and videt. So like that's like so this what looks like the Roman letter E. What sound is that really preserving? It kind of switches up depending where that thing is at in the word. So those are our ones, and again, just like some things where you see the ya, anything conjugated for I, typically ends in a u or a u. The sound, not the Roman letter. Anything form to or til, and it's easier to like once you listen, like if you listen to a Russian speaker and you can imitate their sound, and then I still kind of like I sound too French when I'm saying that. Mil idiom, v idiot for going or walking. But those are our verbs, and so now we're going to read through the story. It's going to be painfully slow. But I'm working on my reading, trying to be more literate over here. Just working on my reading out loud and trying to build a vocabulary just by any words that we can recognize. So today we are reading Krasnaya Shapocka, which I'm assuming means Red Riding Hood, because there's a picture of a little girl here, looks like Red Riding Hood. Krasnaya is definitely red, and Shapocka, I'm assuming that's somehow Red Riding Hood. So that's what we're reading. A story that, the overall plot development I know in English. And so let's see how we do. Жила была водной деревни. And so like D, when you get the D sound in the E thing, they kind of put like a J sound in front of it as well, like dievits, and diesits, which is 9 and 10. So you kind of get like that J sound in there as well with like the Dierevni, Dievoshka, Krasot. And again, that U at the end of the word, like kind of slander it and sound French or something. Nevid anoi, mat, lubila, how do we do this character? The E with the double dot at the end. So I would go yo there. Lubila yo bez pamiati, a babushka I togo bolshe. Bolshe. And so now typically, again, for verbs, let's see what I have in my writing. But tu, like the tu, you typically, that when you're conjugating that ends in like the E and the sha, or the sh thing. So you're just trying to pick up, again, calling out things, you're trying to pair, even if you look at these and know none of the words, what is a noun, what is a verb, what is a direct object. I don't even like that categorization. But just trying to pair the conjugated verbs to who are we even talking about. And so the she is typically to the tu conjugation. Babushka I togo balche. Sheila, so to the sh. I'm not sure how you do that, because again, when you listen to a Russian speaking naturally, they don't emphasize the sounds that much, and half of them skip the syllables anyway. So, not sure what we go with this one. Sheila, kakto, razbabushka, lubimoy, vnushki, shaposhku, krasnogo cveta, I tak silno, ona. So now that ona, that's she did something. Like on is he did, or he conjugate, or masculine conjugation, and ona is a female conjugation. Djev oshke, pon rav ilas, shto I snimat, ne hotelos. The hotelos. So that looks like hotelos. We got that one? Looks like some conjugation of help or wanting. Where are we at now? I always do this. Ona hotelos. Vsudu hodila. Ona vsvoi. So now again, that v to s to back to v. Voi, vsvoi, shaposhke. Potomu I stali. Nazuvat, yo krasnoi shaposhkoi. A Red Riding Hood. Raz, like raznitsa is like difference. So raz is something, again, connecting the syllables where we can. Ispekla, mama, pieroshki, I govorit. We had that one, govorit. I had that one down somewhere. What's govorit? Maybe I don't have it written down. That's definitely one we've come across. Govorit. Now I've lost where we're at successfully. Zvoi. Dochke. Now the s to the h. It's an interesting sound. Hod. Shodi. Kak. Tur. Na. Vesti. Babushku. I. Oh no, that's A. Like the E and then the krak yells A. A. Nej. Dorovica, Itzia, da otnesi, a pirozhki, I gorshochek, masla, smotri, tolko, vlesju, ne ostan avlivaisya, I ni skim ne razgovar ivai. Krasnaya Shaposhka bila poslushnoi djevoshkoi. Ona сейчас je sobralas I otpravilas. Babushke kotoraya žila v drugoj. Djerevne. Idiot ona po lesnoj tropinke И тут навстречу a волк. Again, like I said, still at that first grade level. I'm trying to like pick up the speed, but I just can't, still not confident enough just to like rip through it. Volk, hotel, right, hotel, right? So there's a lot of words where it's like, it looks intimidating and then it sounds exactly like hotel. That's gotta be a hotel. Bilo, yo, spaced. Da, побоялся, потому что поблизости был слышен стук дровосеков. Вот он и спрашивает. So that ayat, that we talked about that last time, that's typically, again, a conjugation for the own or the ona. Emu, yemu. And then open E, if an E comes, it's like there's a Y sound in front of it. Idu ka. So when there's just a standalone K, I'm not really sure what's going on there. But idu k babushke nesu a пирожки да горшочек масла, а далеко живет твоя бабушка. Спрашивает волк. Очень далеко. I know that one from a song. Don't know what it means still. Отвечает Красная Шапочка. Вон за той мельницей, что виднеется на опушке леса, а там будет первый дом, как вой идешь в деревню. Some new words here, boys and girls. Знаешь, говорит волк. Пойду-ка и я навещу твою бабушку. Я пойду этой порогой, а ты ступай по той. Посмотрим, кто из нас быстрый дойдет. Move, and there's a little picture of a wolf. So I'm assuming the wolf's come and eat Red Riding Hood now. Volk. I'm assuming that's wolf, because again, VO is kind of the same. Volk бросился изо всех сил бежать по кому короткой дороге, а девушка побрела не спеша по кому длиной. По пути она собирала букеты и напевала песенки. Прибежал волк первым к бабушкину дому. Постучался. Тук-тук. Кто там? Это я. I really do like кто. I like how that comes off. Это я. Это is this. I know that. Я. I. Внучка ваша красная шапочка. Отвечал волк тоненьким голоском принесла вам пирожки, да горшочек масла. Бабушка лежала в постели, потому что немного не здоровилась и крикнула от юда. Дерни за веровочку, дверь сама и откроется. Holy cow. Откроется, is my guess. Волк дернул за веровочку, дверь открылась. I don't know, these words seem harder than last time. I don't know what's going on here. Он бросился на старушку и разом проглотил ее, потому что уже больше трех. Like that strikes me as literally like RHO, like tro. Де ничего не кушал. Потом он запер дверь и улегся в бабушкину постель и стал поджидать Красную Шапочку, которая через некоторое время добрела до бабушкиного домика и постучалась. Тук-тук, кто там? Услышав грубый голос, Красная Шапочка сперва было испугалась, но подумав, что, видимо, и бабушки голос осип из-за болезни, отвечала: «Это я, внучка ваша, Красная Шапочка, принесла вам пирожки да горшочек масла». Волк крикнул, как только мог, тонким голосом: дерни за веревочку, дверь сама и откроется. Now we have a wolf in the bed, pretending to be grandma. Our babushka is now the wolf. Красная Шапочка дернула за веревочку, дверь открылась, когда. And so now when people say kogda, when I hear it in song, it sounds like kakda, not kogda. Because a lot of times Russians, they say the A sound instead of the O sound. Девушка вошла, волк закутался хорошенько в одеяло, чтоб она его не узнала, и говорит: положи куда-нибудь пирожок да горшочек масла и иди приляг со мною отдохни, с дороги. Красная Шапочка прилегла рядом и спрашивает: бабушка, бабушка, а почему у тебя такие большие руки? Это внучка, чтобы покрепче тебя обнимать. Бабушка, бабушка, а почему у тебя такие большие уши? Это внучка, чтобы получше тебя слушать. Бабушка, бабушка, а почему у тебя такие большие глаза? Это внучка, чтобы получше тебя видеть. Бабушка, бабушка, а почему у тебя такие большие зубы? Hopefully I'll get that on the 10th time. А это чтобы тебя спасть. И с теми словами злой волк бросился на красную шапочку и проглотил ее. Хорошо, что в ту пору в лесу работали провозики. Они. And so like the ona, oni, and then oni is they. Just another interesting sound building. Услышали шум и бежали в дом, где сразу кинулись к волку. Освободили красную шапочку и бабушку. Обе были целые и невредимы. And now she's reconnected with grandma. So there's a lot of different words in that one. Again, that's kind of the point. So I hear a lot of these words, and when I hear them, it sounds so, obviously it sounds so much more fluid. But I'm just not used to seeing these letters to the point where it's like, you hear the word, and like when you're reading in English and a language you know, then you read the word and you can kind of anticipate what's coming. And so the reading isn't this process of sounding out each syllable. You kind of like anticipate the words once you know what you're doing. But the symbols are so much different in the Cyrillic alphabet coming from a Roman represented alphabet. But again, I just wanted to practice another story. Didn't see too many of our verbs, but again, I was too focused on trying to work on my pronunciation as opposed to connecting the words. But like I said, any of the vocab building exercises, I'm probably not going to do. I don't know. I might do it. I'm not going to say I'm not going to, but I don't know. Again, like I said, just trying to work on my pronunciation. Didn't make much, if any, improvement. A lot of words I didn't come across. I'm sure I'm overemphasizing once again. But if that did anything for you, I hope you'll learn something with me, because I'm definitely not teaching you in this series. So thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.